Hello, it's Red Recap speaking. Today, I will be giving a rundown of the movie Peppermint, which was released in 2018. Please note that there will be spoilers in my review. Without further ado, let's dive into the film. The movie kicks off with a scene where two folks are having a brawl inside a car. Riley North finds herself in a tussle with a tough guy in the car, and he injures her thigh. In order to protect herself, Riley shoots and fatally wounds him. Afterward, she conceals his body in the car's trunk and heads over to a spot known as Skid Row, where she's been laying low. Inside her van, she tends to her injury, sips a drink, and stitches it up. She even stumbles upon a box of Girl Scout cookies. The narrative then takes us back 5 years in time, when Riley and her daughter, Carly, were leaving a cookie fair. During their departure, they run into another Girl Scout's mother named Peg, who initiates a dispute over parking and utters hurtful remarks. Despite Carly's inclination to respond, Riley counsels against it, emphasizing that violence is not the answer. Riley leaves Carly with her husband, Chris, and requests that he handle Carly's birthday celebration while she heads to work. At the bank where Riley is employed, her boss demands that she put in extra hours, even though it's Carly's birthday. He explains that another employee failed to show up. Meanwhile, Chris's business partner, Mickey, proposes a risky business venture, assuring a brighter future for Riley and Carly. When Riley returns home later than expected, she discovers that nobody attended the party because all the children had deliberately gone to Peg's pre-arranged holiday gathering. In an effort to lift Carly's spirits, Riley proposes a visit to a Christmas carnival for some joy. Carly eagerly agrees, and Chris assures them that things will get better. Unbeknownst to them, a gang member named Cortez observes Chris and reports their location to his boss, Diego Garcia, who wants them eliminated as a warning to anyone who opposes him. While the family is enjoying the carnival, 3 hired assassins show up and open fire. Chris and Carly tragically lose their lives instantly, and Riley is shot multiple times but somehow manages to reach them, cradling her lifeless daughter in tears. Help arrives, and Riley is rushed to the hospital. Detectives Carmichael and Moises arrive at the scene, and Carmichael is deeply moved with sympathy upon witnessing Carly's lifeless body. A month later, Riley regains consciousness in the hospital, and Carmichael approaches her with a request for assistance in identifying 3 suspects they've apprehended. He cautions her that they could be released unless she cooperates. Riley discovers that Chris was targeted because he was involved in a plan to steal from a drug dealer named Diego Garcia, even though he had ultimately abandoned the scheme. This information had somehow leaked out. Overwhelmed by grief, Riley is shown pictures of her and Chris from before the tragic events. As Riley looks at the pictures, memories flood back, and she informs Carmichael that she can identify the shooters. They go together, and she successfully identifies the 3 culprits from a lineup. Detective Moises brings to Carmichael's attention the disappearance of a fellow officer who had previously pursued Diego Garcia, hinting at Garcia's reach within the police force. In response, they decide to distance themselves from the case. While Riley is in the process of packing her belongings due to an eviction notice, she reflects on Carly's drawings. Henderson, the opposing counsel, attempts to persuade Riley to drop her case by offering money. Riley firmly declines his offer, and he notices her antipsychotic medication, suggesting that her memory may be unreliable. Furious, Riley forcefully returns Henderson's money. During the courtroom proceedings, Henderson persistently presses Riley about her medication, sowing doubt about her credibility and causing the court to dismiss her claims. Desperate, Riley turns to her lawyer for assistance, but the district attorney remains unresponsive and indifferent. The judge ultimately rules in favor of the defendants, which drives Riley to passionately argue with the judge about the murder of her family. As she approaches them, an officer uses a taser on her, leading to her removal from the courtroom and her subsequent placement in a mental health program. Lisa reaches out to Carmichael and Moises, revealing that Riley had stolen $50,000 from the bank she worked at before vanishing. This revelation sparks suspicion about Riley's potential involvement in the murders, and they suspect she has been living off the grid for the past few years. However, unbeknownst to them, Riley is quietly preparing herself for a reckoning against those responsible for her family's tragic death, intending to confront them on the 5th anniversary of the murders. While her plan unfolds, Riley covertly enters Judge Stevens' residence and subdues him, securing his hands to a table by nailing them down. She confronts him, questioning if he recalls her and exposing his extensive record of corruption. After taking an item from a display, she departs from the house. Riley subsequently boards a bus and triggers a bomb, resulting in an explosion that ends Judge Stevens' life. Carmichael becomes aware of Riley's actions, uncovering that she had also eliminated lawyer Henderson and made threats against the district attorney the night before. Diego Garcia, the drug dealer, becomes aware that Riley has targeted lawyers and their connections. In retaliation, he instructs Cortez to place a bounty on her head and take her out. Meanwhile, Garcia also faces threats from a rival cartel due to Riley's disruption of 2 of their drug shipments in just 1 week. Amidst her quest for vengeance, Riley crosses paths with a young boy and shares the toy she had taken from Judge Stevens' home, demonstrating a moment of unexpected compassion. Observing her father's intoxicated condition, Riley decides to trail him to a store. There, she confronts him, brandishing a gun and demanding that he abandon his drinking habits and be a responsible father. She issues a stern warning to the shopkeeper, instructing them not to serve her father any more alcohol, and procures his car with a monetary offer. Riley then sets her sights on Marvin, an individual connected to Garcia, who plays a role in laundering cartel money through a piñata store. Disguising herself as a destitute woman, she takes extreme measures, resorting to violence by eliminating 2 men in order to gain access to the operation. As Riley infiltrates the gang's operation, they identify her from the news and immediately open fire. Undeterred, Riley methodically takes down each member of the gang one by one, leaving no room for escape. She then interrogates Marvin for crucial information and proceeds to set the shop ablaze, destroying the laundered money. Marvin's revelation reaches Garcia, who is furious at Marvin for disclosing their operation to Riley. Riley's bold actions quickly become headline news, sparking intense speculation and discussions on social media about her vigilant quest for justice. Lisa and Carmichael commence their investigation at the piñata store, but Carmichael harbors doubts about Riley's ability to execute such a complex plan. He intends to reach out to the narcotics division for assistance in tracking down Garcia. In the meantime, Lisa becomes increasingly fascinated by Riley's hiding place, where she has remained concealed for the past 3 months. On the other side, Garcia, growing suspicious of Marvin's involvement in Riley's scheme, takes matters into his own hands and eliminates Marvin. Furthermore, Garcia plots a cunning trap to ensnare and eliminate Riley. Lisa and Carmichael eventually track down Riley's location in the crime analysis wing, and they are taken aback by the significant public support she has garnered. Lisa deduces a low crime area from the past 3 months, suspecting it to be Riley's hideout, and embarks on a mission to locate her. Meanwhile, Riley ventures into a warehouse filled with tripwires and explosives, where Garcia's men lie in ambush. Recognizing the trap, she skillfully avoids detection, escapes to a secure location, and triggers the bombs, causing the building to explode. Garcia's men assume Riley has perished and depart from the scene. However, Riley resurfaces from a sewer tank, steals a vehicle, and pursues them. She intercepts their path, eliminating both men, and Garcia comes to the grim realization that she is still very much alive and relentless in her pursuit of justice. Utilizing one of Garcia's men's trucks, Riley manages to infiltrate Garcia's heavily guarded building, systematically eliminating his bodyguards as she advances. She embarks on a relentless killing spree within the premises. However, when Riley finally confronts Garcia, his daughter unexpectedly appears, stirring memories of her own deceased daughter, Carly. Hesitating to pull the trigger, Riley is caught off guard and stabbed by Garcia, who seizes the opportunity to escape with his daughter just as the police arrive on the scene. Riley manages to evade capture as well. Riley heads to Peg's residence, where she confronts and physically subdues her, taunting Peg for her failed marriage and commandeering her car. Meanwhile, Lisa contacts Carmichael, revealing Riley's vehicle and believing that Riley may now be an ally in their pursuit of justice. Lisa's primary objective is to capture Riley alive in order to extract valuable information about Garcia and his suppliers. However, she grows suspicious that someone might be secretly assisting Garcia. Shockingly, it's revealed that Carmichael himself has been acting as an informant and shoots Lisa. Carmichael promptly discloses Riley's whereabouts to Garcia, prompting Garcia to mobilize his men for a search of the Skid Row area. Meanwhile, Riley confronts Garcia's associate, Cortez, and eliminates both him and his henchmen. To expose the corruption within the police force, she discovers Lisa's lifeless body and live streams the grim scene, unveiling Carmichael as a corrupt cop. Riley extends an invitation to the police and the media to converge on the area. Using a radio, Garcia confronts Riley, demanding her surrender and warning of dire consequences if she refuses to comply. The stage is set for a dramatic and intense standoff between Riley and Garcia. In a tense moment on the ground, just as the police arrive, Garcia takes the life of Carmichael, convinced that he had betrayed him to the authorities. Garcia manages to escape, but Riley eventually catches up with him, subjecting him to a severe beating and preparing to administer the final blow. However, Moises steps in, imploring Riley to let justice take its course and assuring her that Garcia will face imprisonment. Riley, skeptical of the justice system, ultimately decides to fulfill her promise on her own terms and shoots Garcia in the face. The police officers begin to open fire on Riley, but Moises intervenes, commanding them to cease their actions. The situation reaches a critical juncture where the pursuit of justice clashes with personal vendettas and individual interpretations of right and wrong. The following morning, Moises discovers Riley in a severely wounded state at her family's gravesite. Despite her pleas to let her pass away, Moises takes it upon himself to get her to the hospital. In the public eye, the police chief makes a declaration on the news, asserting that Riley North must be held responsible for her actions. Later, Moises visits Riley while she remains in police custody at the hospital. He discreetly discloses that there are many, including police officers, who silently support her actions. As a sign of his indirect support, he passes her a key to her handcuffs and walks away, facilitating her escape. Riley manages to break free and elude the confines of the hospital. The movie concludes with her successful escape, leaving her future uncertain and the audience with lingering questions about her fate. That's all from the video. Thanks for your time. And take care.